Hello everyone, Jeff here. So last week we wrapped up the Antilia 0.4 version that focused on character creation. This month we're going to be working on 0.5, which is all about the building editor. Now in this video I'm going to be brainstorming and designing the entire building and structure system, not just the editor, but other portions that are very important to Antilia's gameplay down the road. We won't be implementing all that this month, but I want to have a good picture for myself and for the dev team of where we're going with all this down the road. So you're going to see quite a bit of stuff in this video that's not necessarily coming soon. It's just stuff that we are planning and we have thoughts on. And I want to have a good, complete idea of how structure is going to work. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started on that. So my goal this week is to take the information I have in the design document. This kind of lists the requirements, things that I know we're going to need. Now I need to create an interface for them. So what you see me doing in the background is organizing all these different requirements into specific screens you'll see that give you access to those features. So I've broken this down into 5 screens for now: a status screen, an inventory screen, the editor, ranks and roles, and then room access. Now for the MMO, we hadn't planned the building system to be much more than just kind of a player housing feature, but with the sandbox RPG, the building system is really a foundation gameplay system. A lot of things are being built off that building system, not just player housing, but also all the businesses, all the ruins. We're going to have sort of ghost towns, whole small cities that are completely abandoned of kind of these ruins. Even ships and possibly carriages will use the building system in a limited fashion to allow you to customize the interiors of those vessels. So this building system is incredibly important to get right. It's a core, it's a cornerstone of Antilia's gameplay. So getting started on this early rather than putting it off is very important this time around. I really need this system in the game soon. Now, when I had originally captured this footage, I had planned on walking through each of these panels and giving my thoughts on them, but that turned out to be far too long-winded for this video, and I think it would be better if we just focused on the editor for now and the features that we're going to be working on this month. Now, with the editor screen, the most important thing is, of course, changing the layout of the building. This is the main thing that I'm going to be focusing on this month, is getting this specific screen working. Now, I've laid it out the way we had it before in the structure editor. There's a video on YouTube here where I demoed a system that I built in the Antilia MMO. I'm going to try and port that over this month, and I may move some of these things around, like where I put the list of building stories, first floor, second floor, attic, that sort of thing. And then there's also the layers, whether you're editing the foundation, the walls, the floors, the ceilings. I may move those down closer to the actual tile options, and here's where you select, I want floor style 1, floor style 2, etc. So I may move that around a little bit. I'm not entirely happy with the way this is. It's very broken up, where it kind of feels like at least this layer sync should be closer to the tile options. Then up here will be your building materials required. Now for all buildings, the way I'd like this to work is that you collect general materials, like for each building type, for each building style, I should say you're building in an Allen Fay style or a Lantros style. Different building styles will have different building material requirements. So for an Allen Fay style, you might have as one of your building materials would be like river stone. Whereas in, say, Lantros, you might have mud bricks or something like that as a primary building material. So depending on what style of building you choose, what building tile set you're using, these required building materials will change. And of course, those are regional. So if you're trying to build in an Allen Fay style in Chalet, getting those river stones from Allen Fay, where they're abundant, to Chalet is going to require some work to get them in the quantity you need. So that's kind of the idea there, is that building, you can build with any style you want, anywhere you want, but because of this building requirements thing, the materials, it's not so convenient to build in a material away from the resources that go into it. I'd like to limit the number of resources, different types, to probably 4 or 5. I don't want to go too crazy where it's like there's 15 different building materials that go into your building. I'd like there to be just kind of like one type of stone or brick, one type of wood, maybe one type of glass for windows, that kind of thing. So there's only 5 in total. And that mixture of 5 will depend on what tile set, again, you pick. So that's the idea there. And this editor needs to be able to edit the foundations, the walls, the doors and windows, that sort of thing. Also, there's a feature that wasn't in the old editor that I'm going to have to add, and that's the room editor. And I'll get into that a little bit, but that's very important to our ranks and roll system and our access systems. And all it's going to do really is you'd probably select it over here, layer modes, room, and then you'd probably just have like some way of creating a new room and assigning a color, and then picking floor tiles to assign that room to those tiles. So a room won't be necessarily, it doesn't have to be encased by walls or anything. It's just a selection of floor tiles that have been assigned to, say, cooking area or bedroom 1 or whatever. So I think together this kind of forms a complete system. I need to take what I've done back to the game dev team. I'll get some feedback on it. We'll see how things are going. And then we're going to update this document here to reflect kind of a good combination of this requirements list plus the different pages I created of the interface. So that'll be the next step. I don't know how well this video turned out. As usual, I won't know until we get into editing if this was too rushed or if it was paced just right. At any rate, let me know what you thought in the comments down below. I'm always interested in your feedback, and I hope to see you next time. So until then, stay tuned. A special thanks goes to this month's Patreon supporters. If you'd like to support the project, you can do so by visiting www.patreon.com/Antilia.